Whenever you're ready, what were we talking about?
The times that we are in with.
Just say action whenever you guys are ready.
Action.
How do you address the elephant in the room?
Like the सब जो बोला edit कर. Hi, I'm Abhishek Chaubey.
Hi, I'm Sudip Sharma.
And we're here to talk about Sudip's new show, Kohrra, which is about to release on Netflix. Sudip, congratulations.
Thank
on
you.
Kohrra.
Thank you.
To start with, tell me about Kohrra. How did it come to be, and what was it about the show that you were attracted to making it?
Gunjit and Diggy came up with this idea to me. It was during the pandemic. I mean, Paatal Lok had just come out, and I was not sure I actually wanted to do another crime show after that. But there was something about the idea which just sprang at me, saying that it's actually not a crime show. You know, it was really about these relationships and about these characters and about these people and their lives. That got me hooked. And once I found that angle to it, that, you know, although it has got the peg of a crime show, but it's actually a lot more than that. That got me interested, and then we worked on it for a few months during the pandemic offline.
You know, as far as procedurals go and investigative shows go, there is always the character of the investigator and, you know, his personal life, which comes a wee bit in the course of the story. But more often than not, it has little bearing on the themes of the show.
Right.
And here, what I thought was very interesting was that the theme of the show is inextricably linked to the investigators themselves, their lives. I mean, until they resolve that, they can't resolve this.
Right.
And that, I think, is one of the very rare achievements of the show. You've got a special affinity to Punjab, is it? I mean,
I love the place. I mean, I really love the place. And it all started, I mean, we started on
You
it.
brought Punjab to Udta Punjab.
Yeah.
Because we were just making a drug story.
It has just such a unique identity in India.
It becomes a sort of a microcosm for the entire country.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know that one of the things that also sets Kohrra apart is that this, I think, is very unique because it doesn't talk so much about the politics of Punjab, I mean, you know, the Punjabi people, and it's really about their personal lives. You are the co-creator and the showrunner,
right.
And you've not written it.
Right.
And so, how was the writing process? Because I mean, Sudip Sharma, I mean, as we all know, is a writer first and foremost, right? So, and you've been making this transition to show running and all of that, but that's linked to your writing.
Right.
So, how was the writing process? How did you do this? I mean, take me through the process of it.
It was, for me, the difficult part was to take that step back and say, okay, I'm just going to mentor it and not going to do the actual writing myself. And, you know, it's almost like, I mean, I'm sure if you were to be on a set where somebody else is directing for you, even you would have that urge to say, you know what, you know, I'm gonna call the shots here, or I'm gonna do
That's
this.
why I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't do it. I said, let me just do the whole damn thing. You know?
So, you know, it was a bit tricky, but they were very good. So my deal with them was, I'll do the last draft, because if I have to be on the set and be like 100% sure of the material, be 100% sure of, okay, why this beat is here. I need to like do that final pass where I rewrite it in my way. You know, parts that
Aishwarya has to be you. I mean, that's very you. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, that's Sudip.
So on a lot of that scene when we were shooting, you know, that Jangi scene when we were shooting, I went up to Randeep and said, you know what, this is a Chaubey scene. I actually told him that. I mean, I wondered if I could ever showrun something which was not written by me. Like, the genesis of it did not come from me, and, you know, if I was not the creator of that material in that sense. But by the end of it, I felt like, no, you know, it's possible to own. It's like how probably when you are directing, you know, you might have worked with the script on. I mean, it was probably the same on Udta, right? Like, I mean, I was writing the script, you were closely involved along with me, you were co-writing it together, and then at one point of time, you got to say that, okay, you know, now I'm going to take it from here and now make it mine and interpret it my way. So in that sense, it was a bit of that transition for me, and I'm glad I went through it, because I think it gave me.
It helped you grow?
It helped me grow.
You know, this is the second show that you're show running. What is it about show running that you enjoy compared to just writing for a movie or something of that sort?
I mean, I am really looking for collaborators in that sense, okay? Because it's, and I think my training as a writer has helped me in that. Because, you know, I mean, when we were working together, it was, so we are creating something together, the script, and then you're going to interpret it your way on set, you know, and you know, I got to be fine with it. And it was not, I mean, I was not just fine with it, I was always excited about the idea of, okay, you know,
Kaisa aayega?
Kaisa aayega? And somebody very competent is now interpreting what I have written and now giving it another form. So it's, I always looked at it like, okay, if, you know, if I was to direct it, say a film script that I had written, it probably would not be as rich as like a good director coming in and interpreting it, because then there are two minds at work here. Otherwise it would just, and this is how I look at it even when I'm you know, because I don't see myself as primarily a director. I'm giving this fully formed beast to this person. Now I'm asking him to collaborate with me and interpret it my way. The difference I see it, say, compared to a film, is in a film you kind of let go of it, and you know, and you wait for it to then see it, you wait to see it in the edit and see where it has gone. Here you are fully there on the set, so that is one thing, and you are, you know, you're sort of constantly providing the vision and constantly sort of providing the playing ground, saying, okay, this is where we play in, and inside then you're free to do whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
And but there is a larger sort of a definition that you are providing, you know, which I think somebody who is like who is a specialist in that can add a certain value which I might not be able to provide just by my voice, is how I look at it. So I see it as an enriching sort of a process.
But do you have in the last two shows you've had conflict with director in terms of how they're interpreting the vision, and if so, it does happen, does, you know, what do you do to resolve it?
I've never had, like, to date, like now I've just finished shooting Paatal Lok, and like this is the third show now that I've show run with a different director, you know. With, I've never had with any of the directors. There has not been a single moment of conflict where, you know, where we were standing on the set saying, no, this doesn't work for me, or this doesn't work for me, or.
But has there been something like this कि okay, performance is developing, है ना, तो लड़का कर रहा है, direct कर रहा है, and performance is developing, and you're looking at the dailies and you say, hey, this I think is थोड़ा सा off हो रहा है.
No, I'm not looking at the dailies. I'm on the set looking at the monitor, and we are constantly talking.
So talking,
after every, you know, okay take or not take. If it's not working, then I mean, so you also have to draw certain boundaries. And I think before that, it's about who are the people you work with.
I think that's very, very important.
I think it's extremely important. It's also a personality thing.
Yeah.
Like you and I, when we were working together, I mean, we made 2 films together. We never had a single moment of conflict, right? While we were writing it, or when you shot it, or you know, there was never anything. It's a lot to do with personalities, right? And the same with because I mean, we knew our lines, we knew our boundaries, and like, okay, this is what this guy is doing, this is what I am doing, and you kind of, you know, you kind of stick to that. And I think it's important to sort of put aside ego and not let that become primary motivator. Also, like there are some rules that I follow. Like I never tell a director a shot. I would never do that. That okay, this is where this is how it should be shot. This, because I mean, he's the specialist. I mean, this is what he's there for, and he knows this job far better than I do. So why the hell should I ever be telling him that? So my really focus when I'm looking at the monitor is, okay, this is what the moment was written for. This is what it is supposed to convey. Is it conveying that?
Right.
This is what this character was supposed to make me feel at this point of time. Is he making me feel that at this point of time? And if not, can I contribute?
Why do you think we do what we do?
I mean, there's no other choice, you know. I mean, this is what wakes me up every morning. And I mean, sometimes honestly, I mean, on dark days, you do feel like I wish I knew something else to do. I wish I knew how to, I don't know, run a motor parts shop or run a hotel. I don't know, if like I wish I knew something else, because sometimes it does get difficult, and I think I don't know if it's age.
इतनी उम्र हुई नहीं आपकी वैसे।
I know, but I think 1 year in Andheri is equal to like 10 human years.
I agree.
It's a bit like that.
That's true.
So it just feels like I spent a lifetime already, man, and then some more.
I mean, storytellers have been telling for a long time now that storytelling is hard.
Right.
But nobody believes it.
Really?
I mean, nobody believes it. और मतलब मेरे घर में, लखनऊ में और जमशेदपुर में जहाँ पेरेंट्स हैं, ज़्यादातर माय फादर टेल्स मी, ज़्यादातर लोगों को ये लगता है कि मैं एज अ डायरेक्टर एक सेट के बीच में दीवान होता है, वहाँ पे आराम से पड़ा हुआ हूँ और खूबसूरत लड़कियाँ आके मुझे अंगूर खिला रही हैं. That's what they feel, because they have no concept of what we do as filmmakers.
Right.
They think it's a very easy, chilled out kind of an existence, and nobody has a sense of
I
the
mean,
difficulties that we go through. And as an artist, you are naturally self-loathing.
Yeah.
तो वो साला भी होता है.
I mean, to put things in perspective, I mean, it's a life of privilege, I mean,
sure.
to be able to do, what we do as compared to 100 other things that we might have been doing if we weren't doing this. I mean, there is that, but it's becoming harder.
But do you think there is a bigger purpose to what we do? होगा ही शायद, but I'm just trying to find out.
I think होगा ये, मतलब कहानियाँ किस्से, I mean, in some ways they're the carriers of culture,
Yeah, I think stories and including cinema are going to be an equally reliable document of our times, than factual data, whatever they might find. I mean, sometimes by not talking about the times also they represent the times.
Right.
Like for example, you want to understand what 2023 is about, watch 10 commercial films and probably you will get a sense.
Absolutely.
They will not tell you anything about what
Absolutely,
they were doing, but
yeah.
they will tell you. Yeah, so I think there is something to that. And I think for filmmakers like you and me and some of our ilk, I mean, streaming has happened अकस्मात ही हुआ, लेकिन सही टाइम पे हो गया.
Right.
And we 10 years ago we would not, I mean, when we were writing Udta, we had no idea that this is going to happen. I mean, that this is where we are all going to gravitate towards. And a lot of filmmakers have now just completely moved to OTT. I mean, they're not even thinking of making movies and all of that. But I mean, I kind of sort of like the kind of stories we want to tell. This is the medium to do it, because we are not able to. I mean, it's making 2 hour films for the big screen is not giving us the room to make those kind of stories.
Right.
So I kind of fell in love with the structure, and streaming has happened in such a right time for filmmakers like us. I mean, it is kind of. Where do you see it going?
I don't know. I mean, I have sort of, you anyway know I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to life. So I mean, I loved movies. I mean, all of us, right? I mean, that's the reason why we came to Bombay, why we do what we do. But somewhere down the line, it kind of lost its charm.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that, by the way?
I mean, it's lost its charm because
which is your first love? Is it still movies? Like, given a choice, like, okay, you can make the kind of movie you want to make, or make the kind of series you want to make.
I'll be happy to make a movie, but if they're not, if it's all only going to be about spectacle, then no, then I'd prefer, because this is still allowing me to tell a story the way I want to tell a story.
Right.
So it's giving me the freedom to choose my story, and then it's giving me the freedom to, it's not that restrictions are not there.
Right.
But at least I'm able to say it in the way I want. Now, with movies, even when things were hunky-dory, I mean, there was a lot more. There was the issue of censorship, and there's the issue of spectacle. We were supposed to do, and also the star system.
Right.
The overwhelming oppression of the star system. It was always
which
upon
is still there.
Which is still there. It's always upon.
Fact,
it was always upon us.
Yeah.
Now, this frees you up. I mean, for all its problems, this frees you up. So, तो मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि यार for the time being, I'm much happier doing this.
Streaming, it allows you that.
Yeah.
Now that you can make a show with Suinder Vicky and Barun Sobti as the lead, and they'll let you make it with a reasonable budget to boot.
Yeah, it's made stars out of these kind of actors. I mean, and Barun has 2 or 3 shows to his name. So does Suvinder.
Right.
On Netflix itself, I think he has that Meel Patthar, which is a great film, which
Right.
is there on Netflix, and it's made veritable stars of these guys.
Right.
There's the Jaideep, of
Yeah.
course, he became a star. Manoj Bajpayee had a second
Right,
coming because
absolutely.
of in a big way. In OTT, there is a lot of good riddance. I
Yeah.
mean, we are not obliged to have a song and dance, for
Right.
example.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not just talking about series, but even the direct to OTT films.
Right.
I mean, you're not obliged to have
Right.
it. And like for example, I don't have a problem with song and dance, but you don't have to
Have
have
to
it in
have it,
every
right.
film, right? I
Right.
mean, and I think it's for a filmmaker like me, it's a bane of
Right.
existence. I just don't dislike it passionately. So at least there's no compulsion to do that. ये दो तीन चीजें तो बहुत significant advantage
Right.
हैं. So I'm pretty bullish about it in the sense that कि at least यार जो ideas आ रहे हैं वो तो यहाँ करे जा सकते हैं.
Right.
As opposed to otherwise वहाँ पे तो थोड़ा देखना ही पड़ेगा कि
Right.
audiences को क्या पसंद है, क्या देखना चाहिए. There's definitely a pressure कि how political you want your
Right,
content to be.
right.
I mean, there's definitely a pressure
Yeah.
there.
And I don't think even.
Are we self-censoring?
100%.
We are self-censoring, and
100%.
we don't even sometimes we don't even realize we are doing it.
100%,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Our work is inherently political, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we have done political stuff together, and by political I don't mean about politics, but like about the socio-politics of it, right? So for Kohrra, what we did was, okay, let us drill down the politics of it.
Yeah.
Let us, instead of talking about the macro of it, let's talk about the micro of it, and talk about the politics of the family.
Yeah.
Talk about politics of brothers. So you go down to that, and maybe in that you can tell a larger story.
Yeah. So now what next? What are you thinking about? What are you going to do, and how do you see going from here?
यार मुझे कॉमेडी करनी है एक अभी like that's my next. I want to do like a drama comedy or something light, just to sort of purge myself of all the हो गया
But series or a movie?
series. I don't think I want to do. I don't think I want to do movies. Like, I know how much you love movies and how much I mean, you started off as a film director. You made some fantastic films. How does that affect you?
After Sonchiriya, I did 2 short films.
Right.
Which were for different anthologies on Netflix, and that was great because I could get some work done on in 2020, which was like the pandemic year. I mean, it's been what, 4 years now, and I completely removed from the 2-hour format, and I started writing this new film last year, towards the end of last year, and I sort of rediscovered the joy of writing the film, and what in those 2 hours you're able to sort of give you the same experience that the same journey that a series can do, and it's possible.
Right.
Because I had begun to believe almost while writing Sukhya, this is so exhaustive. I mean, this material is so exhaustive, and so many things are happening here.
Right.
And every character I'm getting into their past, their future,
Right.
and their relationships with everybody. I mean, that's not possible to do in a movie.
Right.
And then somewhere I was losing the joy of, what joy of a film is. And then I wrote this film, which I've told you about this. I've just done a first draft of, and I kind of rediscovered it, what this is about. Optimistically, I can say that, hey, this is a phase, and probably we're going to go back to appreciating films for what they are. I mean, they don't need to be spectacle, all of those things. It can just, or just maniacally star-driven spectacle.
Right.
I mean, I'm willing, I'm okay to go to a star, and so it helps.
And
me
you
with
have
the
made
film.
films with
Yeah,
with
I've
stars
made films
all
with
along,
stars, so I'm happy to do
Yeah.
it. I mean, and some of the stars are pretty good actors, so I
Yeah.
have no problem with that. So yeah, let's see how this one goes. So that is there, but I actually am of the opinion right now, if you really ask me, that I want to do
both.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do both. Both are equally exciting as a director, purely as a director. They're both equally exciting. And I would like to continue doing both as much as I can. I know that's going to take the mickey out of me.
We still have one film left between us.
Yeah, there was a promise, I remember, on the terrace all those years ago,
the
that
three-film deal.
deal.
Yeah.
So whenever you're up to, thinking,
I just need to feel excited about writing
Movie,
a film again.
Yeah,
just,
I think book करोगे ना एक बार, just एक बार as you start, वही हुआ मेरे साथ, because I started doing it, and I started doing it slowly and reluctantly. And as I started doing it, I started discovering the joy, because when it lands,
Right.
in the third act, when all things are coming together, and you get the same kick So that's when it started. So maybe I think, and I think for
In fact, right now I feel I've probably forgotten how to
Structure it?
how to
Yeah.
write a film.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I know, I
Because
know.
it just last I think Sonchiriya we finished writing was 2017.
18 18 में से shoot करी है,
हाँ,
17
17 was when we finished writing it. So practically I haven't written a film in
Yeah, वही,
in
वही.
6 years. You
बहुत,
know?
हाँ, लंबा
So it's a
वक्त,
long
हाँ,
time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I've written like 3 series in the
Yeah.
meanwhile.
Yeah.
So it's just like now I feel like I understand this a lot better.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
think it's
almost
just, I'm
forgotten.
telling you, Sudip, it's just in your head. You start doing it and you will start feeling the same kick again. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. And there is, जब think about those times when we were young and जब film festival जाकर के film देखते थे, और when you
Right.
discovered this film, क्या film है यार.
Yeah.
When you saw La Haine, for example, or the effect it had in you. So that kind of a thing will come back. You'll feel that again. I'm still optimistic about it. I don't think cinema is dead or dying, no matter what people are going to tell you. So I still have hope for it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.